The Houston Riot of 1917 was a violent confrontation in which Black American soldiers stationed in Houston, Texas during World War I rose up against systemic racism, police brutality, and the injustices they faced at home, even while serving their country abroad. In 1917, Black soldiers of the 24th Infantry Regiment were stationed at Camp Logan in Houston, a city strictly segregated under Jim Crow laws, where Black people were subjected to legal and social injustice, and the soldiers were constantly harassed and brutalized both on base and off base despite wearing United States Army uniforms. On August 23, 1917, tensions reached a breaking point when a Black woman was beaten by white police, and a Black soldier who intervened was assaulted. Fearing that a white mob might attack them based on recent violent encounters and circulating rumors, about 100 Black soldiers armed themselves and marched into Houston, engaging in a violent confrontation with police and civilians. The confrontation lasted roughly 2 hours. By the end, 16 white people were killed, including police officers and civilians, while 4 Black soldiers lost their lives. The violent confrontation was suppressed by local authorities and military forces, and many of the Black soldiers involved were arrested afterwards. The aftermath of the Houston confrontation included, honestly, one of the largest court-martials in United States military history, with 118 Black soldiers tried, and it led to one of the largest mass military executions in the nation's history, as 19 men were hanged and over 60 others received life sentences. These brave soldiers were protecting their country abroad. At the same time, they faced systemic racism, harassment, and brutal treatment at home, particularly in Houston under Jim Crow laws. Segregated units like the 24th Infantry Regiment were treated as inferior, despite the service and sacrifices of Black American soldiers. The trials and executions lacked fairness and due process. As the soldiers were denied adequate legal defense, the proceedings were conducted rapidly, and widespread racial prejudice influenced every stage. The fact is this: for decades, U.S. history books downplayed or ignored racial violence, especially when it implicated state institutions like the police, military, and courts. They focused on patriotism and democracy abroad during World War I, while leaving out the contradictions at home: segregation, racial terror, and the Houston Riot, which was buried to hide that Black soldiers were treated worse at home than in combat against America's enemies.